A superpower rises in the West. It's young, embarrassingly young, by the standards of the civilizations watching it. But it's large, it's confident, it's militarily formidable, and it has a particular genius for taking other people's ideas and building something that runs the world. To the east, older civilizations look on, cultured, refined, centuries, even millennia of philosophy, art, and intellectual tradition behind them. And if we're being a little honest, they're a little arrogant about it. But underneath that arrogance, a little anxious, because they can feel the center of gravity shifting. Now you might be thinking this is about Rome and Greece, but rewind that description, because we could just as easily be talking about the United States and Europe. The details change, but the dynamic doesn't. Rome rose to dominance. They didn't erase Greek culture. They absorbed it, copied it, even celebrated it, and then proceeded to run the world while the Greeks watched on. Romans sent their children to study in Athens. They filled their homes with Greek statues. Originals if they could get them, copies if they couldn't, which tells you everything you need to know about the relationship. The Greeks knew they were culturally superior. The Romans, on the other hand, knew they were politically and militarily superior. Both of them knew it, which made for a relationship that was simultaneously admiring, condescending, and deeply annoying, depending on which side you were standing on. Sound familiar? Europe spent centuries building Western civilization. The Enlightenment, democracy, classical music, the scientific revolution. The entire intellectual framework the modern world runs on. And then America showed up. Technically a European project to begin with, populated by Europeans, founded on European ideas, and governed by a constitution written by men who had read their Locke and their Montesquieu. And then they proceeded to become the dominant superpower of the modern world. Quite obviously, Europe has had complicated feelings about this ever since. Americans flood European museums with reverence. American universities teach European philosophy and art history as foundational curriculum. It's basically the Romans sending their kids to Athens. But then, America built their military, ran the global financial system, and dominated culture through Hollywood and Silicon Valley, even stationing troops on European soil to guarantee their very security. And Europe, despite centuries of civilization building, somewhat spectacularly failed to guarantee for itself what the Americans have through 2 world wars. Now here's where it gets interesting. Rome needed Greece, not just for the cultural context, but for the psychological validation. You can't be the dominant civilization of the known world without something to measure yourself against. In the same vein, America needs Europe the same way, constantly reaching back for legitimacy. European philosophy, European history, Washington, D.C. itself, modeled on European architecture. And on the other hand, Europe needs America too, whether it wants to admit it or not. The security guarantee, the alliance, 70 years of European peace and prosperity built substantially on American military presence. The Greeks complained about Roman dominance while benefiting from Roman order. Europeans critique American foreign policy from capitals protected by that very same American security. 2,000 years, the same relationship, different names on the same buildings. So the next time you watch a European intellectual explain why American culture is so hopelessly shallow, or an American diplomat treat European objections as a minor inconvenience, just remember, we've seen this before. Thank you for watching.